Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. Happy New Year. I'm so excited that we all made it through to 2024. God has been good. And this year the Lord said to us that this is our year of heaven and earth. And it's amazing because a few people have actually spoken similar words to me, and I'm like, thank you, Lord, for confirming your word. And I was so excited to bring this word to us. I was excited in explaining how heaven is so beautiful, streets laid with gold. You know, there's just constant worship going on. The presence of God is constantly there. And, you know, there's no weeping, there's no mourning, there's no tears. God is our perpetual light, all of these amazing things. And then the Lord said, yes, Hannah, these are the promises. And then he asked me a question. How do people get to live in heaven? I'm like, sorry, Lord? He said, how do people get to live in heaven? And I said, well, Enoch and Elijah. He said, apart from Enoch and Elijah, how do people get to live in heaven? And I said, they die, or their spirit goes to heaven, experiences heaven like John. I said, exactly. He said, to experience heaven on earth this year, you have to die. I said, Lord, but we're on earth. He said, yes. But to experience constantly creating the atmosphere where heaven is where you're living despite being on earth, it means that the presence of God will consistently be around you. And he said the only way that happens is via your spirit being alive. Your spirit is what would inhabit heaven. So that means your flesh has to constantly die. And I was like, oh my God. And he took me to Luke 9:23, and he said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves, must die to themselves, and take up their cross daily and follow me. This is one of my favorite scriptures, because when people start to speak about what they've gone through and how hard it is, I said to people, Jesus never said take up your Gucci shoes and follow me. He said take up your cross. The cross symbolizes death. The cross symbolizes suffering. The cross symbolizes following Jesus will not be easy. And so the Lord was saying to me that if we must leave heaven on earth, we must leave with daily death to ourselves. And simple examples he gave me. He said, for instance, sharing the gospel. It should not be a question. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we have to do it in a certain way. But surely you must be able to speak to one or two people about the love of the Christ you claim to serve and you claim to love and you claim that has saved you from sin. And he was saying to me, a lot of times we claim that we don't share the gospel because we don't know how to do it, we're shy, and all of these excuses. But sometimes it's just because we're proud, and we're worried about our image, and we're worried about how people see us, and we're worried about not being excluded. It's pride. The Lord was saying, you're trying to fight for your rights. And so when people offend you, you want to hold on to unforgiveness. You want to hold on to anger. You want to hold on to dressing and speaking to please people and yourself rather than pleasing the Lord. That you has to die. If we must live in heaven on earth in 2024, you have to die. You have to be a light. The Spirit of God was saying to me that what it is that he has lit a candle, he's lit a light in our spirit. But sometimes our unwillingness to kill the flesh has dimmed our light. And so it's time for your flesh to die and for the light of the gospel that he has lit in your spirit to begin to shine and illuminate the world around you. He said to me that the darkness you do not illuminate, you perpetuate. And so where have you been that you've seen things go on the wrong way and you just sat down and accepted it and said this is the norm, or even joined in it? The darkness you do not illuminate, you perpetuate. He has called us to be the light of the world. How do you live in heaven and yet are not transformed into a heavenly being? To live in heaven, you have to be a heavenly being. And for you to become a heavenly being, your earthly being has to die. And so this year, the question I want you to start off with is, how can I be less of me and more of him? Because for me to live in heaven, I have to be like him. How can I be less of me and more of him? Simple. Deny the urge to continually be the person that you were before. that will complain, that will murmur, that will keep unforgiveness. Transform via death the new you that needs to inhabit the heaven that God is bringing into your life. And see how the Lord will transform everything around you to actually look like heaven on earth. So our confession this week: I die to myself daily. I die to myself daily. I will pick up my cross and follow the one who has died already on the cross for me. I die to myself daily. And as we walk in the death of our flesh and the life of the spirit, I declare that the Lord would transform us into heavenly beings, that actually heaven becomes our reality on earth. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Monday Morning Confessions. I love you. Take care. Have a great day.